Real stories of werewolves, of dogman from history, from your emails, illustrated and animated with the democratizing magic of machine learning AI. Welcome to Scary Stories.
Hey, how's it going? I'm sorry I've kind of been away, but I had to go and watch my friend's cat uptown. It was my first time off in months, and on the first night there, I looked in the comment section. I saw someone left a comment about how they used to like the channel better when I did it myself. Like, I was wondering, who do they think does it now? I initially found it insulting, but this person has a prejudice against AI. And after I went and played with the cat and I calmed down, I thought about it, I realized I also have met a genius, a literal genius, who is scared of AI. Doesn't make any sense to me, and it seems kind of funny to me, but why is it their job to understand AI? They don't use it. I use it every day. So I figured it's time for me to make a tutorial explaining exactly what I do. This is not a show where I push a button or put a topic into an app and it pumps out a show for me or whatever. This is something I create by hand. I just use AI and I use computers, you know. I said this in my last tutorial. I've been doing art since the 80s, and I've been doing art since before computers. I used to pitch TV ideas back in the 90s using color Xerox, okay? Color Xerox booklets. The only thing I used computers for back then is I would make logos for my characters that I would pitch. Anyway, I really love AI because what AI does is it gives me a huge budget. If I need to have a werewolf, I don't need to hire a makeup artist and an actor to play the werewolf. I can just describe it and keep generating more and more images until it starts to get closer to what I want. And that's what I'm going to demonstrate for you today. And we're going to take an idea from a Linda Godfrey book, and we're going to bring it to life in an image or two, and then we're going to try and make a short animation of it. And this is something I'm going to be using in my next story episode that I'm working on right now. So you're going to join me in how I work on. This is just going to be one small part of the beginning of the next episode, and you're going to see how long it takes to get stuff done. Recently, I got to make an episode about my friend John Keel, who I was friends with towards the end of his life. But this was an episode about earlier in his life where there are only a few photos of him that exist. Before I knew him, I only knew him in the 90s and on, or 1992 and on. But this is a story about his first book where he chased the Yeti across the Himalayas. It was a book that Steven Spielberg was interested in and spent a weekend with Keel talking about it before or while he was writing the first Indiana Jones movie. I realized that I could use some of those old photos of Keel, put them into Midjourney, and then create a new character out of him that I could make color photos of and even little animations of and have him moving around in photos with the Yeti and little animations with the Yeti. So that's what I did for that episode, and it was a very moving experience for me. People have this alienated, scary idea about AI, but it's just another kind of computing, you know? It's not scary to me, although I understand it can be used for scary stuff. I'm not using it to plan warfare, you know? I'm not using it to plan out using atom bombs. I'm just making pictures and images, and I'm using it to bring things from my imagination and from people's real-life stories to life. I'm trying to bring people's stories to life that are supposedly true. In this case, let's get to the story itself. Okay, so this is a true story that happened to someone who reported their experience to Linda Godfrey. And my version is inspired by her book, Real Wolfmen, which we have a link to in the description if you want to check it out for yourself. Supposedly, I make a kickback from that if you buy it there. I don't know, whatever. Now, the chapter I'm referring to this time is called House Crasher in Tomahawk, Wisconsin. Now, in this true case, Linda Godfrey tells us that a young man and his family moved to a rural area, forested area outside Tomahawk, Wisconsin. Soon after moving in, the young man was walking on a dirt path in the woods when in broad daylight, a black, furry, long-snouted dogman walked out into the road in front of him. After this sighting, the creature started bothering the family in their home at night, and I'll tell you all about it in the episode which I'm working on now. Now, in the bad old days, which the commenter was nostalgic for, I would have tried to find public domain images matching the story's background, and then I'd pose a 3D model in front of it, and I'd try to stick them together in Photoshop. Sometimes it would work, and other times it wouldn't, but that was how you would do it back then. Now we have the democratizing power of AI, where for about $30 a month, I can generate images that in the past would have required I had a Hollywood budget. And now it's going beyond that, where we're beginning to be able to make short videos from these images and do lip sync. On my other channel, I do lip sync, but I'm not going to get into that here. It's very primitive as I'm doing this episode, but this is the worst it's ever going to be, and it'll only get better and more coherent. So back to Tomahawk, Wisconsin. See, I need to show this black furred dog man crossing the dirt road in broad daylight, and I'm going to go to Midjourney's site and type in this prompt adapted from the description in Godfrey's book. Okay, I apologize if the audio is different for this episode. I'm doing something experimental. I haven't tried this before. Let me read this prompt. Photo of black furred wolfman, I misspelled it, I say wold man, with long dog snout crossing a dirt road in the woods on its hind legs in broad daylight. And then there's other stuff about details for Midjourney specifically. Now you can see it didn't work out. I have 3 dogs and a bear. So we don't ask for Dogman, at least I don't ask for Dogman on Midjourney because it doesn't work out. You get all sorts of weird things, usually a white man with a beard. I don't know why. So I asked for a wolf man, and that often will get me something closer to what I want. So now in our next tribe, we try a photo of black furry wolf man with a wide chest and muscular arms, with tall dog ears and glowing eyes with long dog snout, walking on 2 legs across a dirt road in the woods at noon on a bright sunny day. Now I'm saying broad chest and muscular arms because I'm trying to indicate it's something more like a humanoid. It's not walking on all 4s. I'm trying to give it cues because that's the thing with Midjourney. It's like you have to kind of hint at things. It's also with clothing. If you're too specific about clothing, it gets weirded out at you and thinks you're trying to do porn, which doesn't make any sense. If you want to do porn, they wouldn't be wearing clothes, but whatever. So you kind of hint at things and let it imagine, because that's what it's doing. It's dreaming the images up for you. Okay. Now with the third one, what happened was I decided to stop trying to make it wide because I figured doing it wide is telling it to put the dog down on all 4s in its mind. Because it's something you figure out after a while about Midjourney. So then I said, make it any shape you want, which it's going to do a square. And in this one, you can see the dogman it got all 4 of them. They're standing up, which is what I want. And 2 of them, there's a crowd behind them. But this is closer. And again, with the same prompt and allowing it to do it any shape it wants, I'm getting closer now. So now back to wide, and 3 out of 4 of them, he's down on all 4s. So that kind of proves my theory that asking for it wide was causing this problem. So we do have one where he's standing up. So let's enlarge that one. And we're going to try and expand on this. He's got a little belt there. It looks like he's wearing a belt. So, okay, so we zoom out. And we start to get, and these are variations. I'm sorry, I'm condensing it so that you don't have to sit through all this. So we're zooming out on all these, and he looks like he's wearing pants on all of them. Sometimes just a belt, sometimes pants. So we do the best we can. We just keep enlarging and zooming out because I didn't want to get a full image of him crossing the road. Another thing that Midjourney will often do is it'll have him facing you. It'll have him walking down the road toward you. So this is actually very good that I got to do side profile. If you keep insisting side profile view, eventually you'll get something like this, if this is what you want. Because most Dogman stories, they're crossing across the road. They're not walking down the road. But Midjourney wants to have him walk down the road. See, and it looks like he's got bell bottoms on in some of these. What is he carrying? An umbrella? I don't know what he's doing there. See, like furry bell bottoms. Or a skirt. I'm not sure what that is. But, you keep trying. So those did not work. That was not a zoom out. That was a pan down. And pan down is pretty chaotic. A lot of times you just kind of keep zooming out. But the trouble with zooming out is it makes all this area over the dogman's head. But look at the legs. See, it's like a dog back leg. But he's walking upright on it. So that's pretty cool. Oh, see, that's just wrong. And this looks more like Bigfoot legs or human legs. But yeah, this one looks like it could the canine legs, so we're going to have to enlarge that and then just zoom that out and keep zooming out. Right. Okay. So, yeah, it is pushing buttons to make these videos, but it's not pushing one button. And the first prompt almost never works. You usually have to try again and again and try and just look at the results you get, try and understand why is that not working. And, how can I do it better? So here, look at this. We're zooming out. Now it's starting to look like a dogman crossing a road in front of you in the forest at noon, isn't it? It's starting to get there. So we have to enlarge these and see if any one is better than any of the others. We're really lucky that it didn't turn out by the time we got to this point that he's walking in water with his feet covered, or he's walking in mud with his feet covered up to his knees or whatever. They do that a lot. Midjourney is like a real person learning to draw, where you don't like to draw the hands and the feet. You try to avoid putting those parts in the drawing. Almost all of these are pretty decent. You can choose your own favorite. I chose this one, I think. Next thing we're going to try and do is animate from this. So for animation, I guess, I use something called Decoherence, which costs $30 a month. However, Pixverse, I'm trying to take his belt out here. Here's how you can alter a little part of it. You highlight the part that you want changed. That's not going to be enough. I'm going to have to add more. Yeah, select larger picture. And instead of it being a belt there, just said black fur. I'm going to try and select as little area as possible, but it's going to keep asking me for more until it's satisfied. But yeah, just other places where I want more black fur. Okay, good, that worked. Now that will generate 4 different variations. That'll generate 4 different variations, and then hopefully one or more of them will have the belt removed and replaced with just regular fur. If these don't work, this is a pretty simple change. I can just bring it into Photoshop and do it later, but I'm trying to get it done while I'm still in Midjourney, if I can. Okay, we're getting some options here. Black fur, let's look and see if the belt is removed. Yeah, these are all looking pretty decent, actually. Gotta choose one. I'll choose this one. And we'll upscale that, and we'll bring the upscale version into, I guess, Decoherence. We'll do Decoherence. Oh, that's what I wanted to tell you guys. Decoherence costs money, but there's one that's called Pixverse, Pixverse, that does animation from your photos or from AI photos. Or for actually even from text prompts. You can do animations with it, Pixverse and Decoherence. We're going to show you Decoherence today. But Pixverse recently just added a 2 different paid tiers. They had been free up to now, and they were very, 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 very good. And they could upscale your videos also. But the trouble with Pixverse was that you couldn't submit super high scale images to it. You could only, I think it was up to 10 megabytes. So some of them would come out looking a little blurry, in my opinion, compared to Decoherence. However, now there's a $5 level and a $30 level of Pixverse, and those levels, I would imagine, can take much higher images. So I will be experimenting with the $5 version, and ask me how it works out, because I'm not sure we'll get to that in this video. But I did just sign up for the $5 version. See, look at how freaky some of these come out. These are all wrong in different ways. Look at that one. Look at this. It's just crazy. Now look at this. There's 2 werewolves in this one. This is me trying to make variations on what we've already got. Sometimes when you get it zoomed out to this, you can make, you can do very strong or very weak, whatever they're called. Very strong and very subtle. Thank you. And then sometimes you get lucky and you get other versions that look just as cool as the original. Most often it gives you freaky stuff that's not quite right. I find very subtle and very strong work better with human subjects than they do with monster subjects. That's my opinion. Nah, legs are too short. Okay, I don't know what that's supposed to be. Yeah, the tail looks like a hand. Looks like one of these is wearing a hoodie. Okay, let's switch to decoherence now. Let's animate this image that we've created. But first I'm going to type a description of what I want animated in here and let it try and create an image on its own. And see how close it gets with this prompt to what Midjourney had. You can see it wants to give me a four-legged dogman too. So we start changing the description a little bit to make it hopefully give us something more humanoid. Now this doesn't really matter, but I like to give it a description that sort of matches what we're going to be trying to get it to animate. But we don't want it to animate. I don't personally like to use the images that Decohere makes to animate. I like to use Midjourney images. I think they're better. Here we go. At least we got someone standing up on two legs. Okay, so let's go back to Midjourney and let's download this image and let's put this into Decohere and see what it can do for us in terms of animation. Okay, let's just try and animate it at the normal default settings. Now, in case that doesn't work, I'd like to also try these other images that are starting to look good, these autumn-looking ones with the yellow leaves. Now, I'm not sure which of these are going to end up looking best in the end. I'm going to try two of them. Okay, so now let's check our Decohere image, and you can see it's the dogman taking one final step, then standing still and staring at us in a challenging manner. That's pretty much exactly what the original witness described. So I think that's pretty nice. Now I'm going to spare you guys a lot of your time. I ended up trying to make better animations out of these, and in my opinion, I did not succeed. I made some pretty good ones though. Let me show you what I ended up getting in the end out of these autumn ones. I got two pretty decent animations. But in this case, I think the first one that we did was really the best one that we did. So I'm fast forwarding through how I did these. So here are some highlights of what the other ones were that were the best that I got out of this. Now this is just the first scene in the story. This is the first scene in the story of the Linda Godfrey report about this family from way back when. What happened in, 2008, I think. And after this, the monster started bothering them in their home. It dented the aluminum siding of their home in one story. And Godfrey has theories about why it did this, which we'll get into in the episode. So all this and a lot more in our next episode, which is the Tomahawk, Wisconsin dogman sighting story. Hope to see you then.
Find that link in the description, honey.
Thanks, Biggie. And thanks to all of you for watching this far. If you liked it, please click like. If you'd like to see more of our work, please subscribe. And also click that bell icon if you'd like to be notified when we put out a new episode. To become an executive producer, you can donate to us through the thanks button under each of our videos or through our paypal.me/PeterBernard209 page. To receive cool perks like secret uncensored Dogman episodes far too wild to ever run on this channel, you can become a YouTube channel member by clicking the join button, or join our PayPal subscribers club at peterbernard.com. Joining either at the $3 a month level or above gets you access to our over 25 hours of secret uncensored Dogman stories available nowhere else. Do you have a scary story about Dogman or some other kind of high strangeness that happened to you? Let us know by emailing us at scarystoriesnyc@gmail.com or by leaving us a voicemail message at 804-LA-SCARY. You may need to call back on that one. It cuts off after, I think, 3 minutes. And if you don't want to do any of that stuff, thank you for simply watching to the end. Good night, and have a scary tomorrow.
Come back for more scary stories.